Courage in finding my own order amidst cosmic chaos. Dear readers, have you ever felt that the world is too complex, like an intricate puzzle that cannot be solved? There are countless events and people we encounter daily, and sometimes, we feel lost about what meaning to derive from them. Naturally, we dislike chaos and have a strong desire to impose order and meaning upon everything. This essay explores a unique book that delves into our deep psychological instincts and raises fundamental questions about how we understand the world. The book I would like to introduce today is Witold Gombrowiczi's novel Cosmos, Cosmos in Polish. You might associate the title Cosmos with Carl Sagan's famous science documentary or a scientific book about space, but Gombrowiczi's Cosmos is not a direct exploration of stars in the night sky or cosmic mysteries. Instead, this novel is a profound reflection on the universe within our hearts, the way we perceive the world, how we create order, and how we either lose our way or discover new paths within that order. This book goes beyond being simply an enjoyable story. It challenges us to consider the fundamental ways we interpret and understand the world. It offers the opportunity to look more deeply into life through reading. If you often feel distant from the words knowledge and culture, or find reading difficult, this novel can awaken your thoughts and senses, providing a new experience. Who is Gombrowicz? And what is his perspective on form? First, let me briefly introduce the author. Witold Gombrowicz is hailed as a 20th-century Polish literary giant who built an original and provocative literary world. He believed humans continuously create and resist form in our relationships with others. What exactly is form? Simply put, it encompasses rules we follow in social life, etiquette, the ways we treat people, and even the manner in which we think. We behave as a good child for one person, a capable employee for another, and a good friend for someone else. All these roles are forms we adopt either of our own will or are imposed by others. Gombrowicz saw these forms as both liberating and repressive, sometimes compelling us to act in ways that are not genuine. His works continuously investigate these forms, the resistance against them, and the incomplete, immature existence of human beings. Cosmos is written against this intellectual background, showing how our innate attempts to impose order on the external world harden into forms, and how these forms sometimes distort reality or plunge us into confusion. Finding order amidst chaos in Cosmos. Let us now venture into the story of Cosmos. The novel begins with the protagonist Witold, an author's projection, and his friend Pius staying at a quiet, rural boarding house. This seemingly ordinary boarding house becomes the setting for various strange occurrences. The story starts with trivial, accidental events discovering a sparrow hanged in the backyard, a peculiar branch hanging from the ceiling, and noticing a strange distortion in the boarding house owner's daughter Lena's lips. Initially, these seem merely coincidental and unrelated. However, Witold and Pius begin to search for patterns and meanings within these fragments. Upon encountering the hanged sparrow, they go beyond merely assuming someone killed and hung it, instead believing there must be a specific meaning behind it. From this incident onward, they start assigning connections to every object and event around them. If the hanged sparrow is labeled as A, they find a similar B in the ceiling branch and another C in Lena's lip distortion. Even the movements of a stray cat, the position of stones, or stains on the wall are interpreted as meaningful signs. The key point here is that the connections they discover are entirely based on their subjective interpretations and imagination, not on objective facts. They speculate, guess, and even fall into obsessive illusions. The novel vividly and peculiarly portrays how these two young men compulsively search for order among randomness and chaos and ultimately create an artificial cosmos. Their constructed cosmos is not a reflection of objective truth but a chaotic mirror of their inner anxieties and quest for meaning. Eventually, their cosmos distorts reality, blurs the boundary between hallucination and truth, and leaves readers confused about what is real and what is imagined. This book constantly asks, are the ways we believe we understand the world truly objective truths, or merely a form we have created? Reflections on Daily Life's Cosmos. Now, let me explain why this book is particularly useful for those lacking knowledge and culture, and what insights it offers. Rather than directly explaining complex philosophical concepts, Gomberwick's Cosmos presents experiential questions about how we understand the world through storytelling. 1. The strong habit of assigning meaning. We all live like Vitold and Pews, assigning meaning to the world. For instance, finding a single hair on the bed in the morning could simply be a hair, but we might interpret it as I didn't clean well yesterday or am I experiencing hair loss. When a friend's expression is uncharacteristically down, we might worry and assign various meanings. Gomberwick shows through extreme scenarios how powerful and influential this habit of assigning meaning can be. We attribute meaning to everything we passively encounter, and these meanings shape our own cosmos. This book encourages us to reflect on that process. 2. The boundary between subjectivity and objectivity. Is the world we perceive truly objective, or do we see it through our own glasses, filtered by our subjectivity? This book strongly suggests that objective truth is ambiguous and that everything is a matter of interpretation. People interpret the same event in completely different ways. Even a single news report can be seen differently by left and right, and a friend's joke might be interpreted as humor by one person and criticism by another. This novel makes us aware of how personal and subjective our perceptions are and prompts us to value the effort to understand others' perspectives. 3. The violence and freedom of form. Gomberwick believed humans constantly create forms in social life. In Cosmos, Vitold and Pews impose their own forms on their surroundings, declaring, this is connected to that, or this is a sign of that. Similarly, we ourselves are often trapped by forms. A certain profession demands we follow specific behaviors, and a certain age dictates the kind of life we should live. This book reveals how these forms can narrow our vision and cause us to lose ourselves. Simultaneously, when we realize these forms are artificial, we gain the possibility of escaping them and finding freedom. 4. Developing the muscle of thought. This book constantly demands that readers question themselves and seek their own answers. Since there are no fixed answers, readers must organize their own thoughts and make judgments. It's like training the muscle of thinking. Just as we train our body muscles at the gym, reading this book develops our critical thinking skills, allowing us to actively seek meaning, question, and attempt new interpretations rather than passively receiving information. For those who feel lacking in knowledge or culture, this ability to think and question independently is the true beginning of culture. 5. Artistic discovery in everyday life. Cosmos shows how ordinary things in daily life can gain unique meaning through our perspectives and interpretations. The hanged sparrow, the ceiling branch, and even a distorted mouth are meticulously described as if they were art, stimulating the reader's imagination. This teaches us to see with the eyes of an artist, discovering new beauty and meaning in the mundane. When we find our daily lives boring and dull, this book changes our perspective, revealing how everything around us can hold special significance. An invitation to a new reading experience. Witold Gomberwick's Cosmos is more than just a story. It is a profound meditation on our perception and mode of existence. Initially, the story may appear confusing, and the characters' actions might be difficult to understand. Yet, it is precisely through this confusion that we can discover the true value of this book. We often face numerous uncertainties in life, future anxieties, misunderstandings in relationships, the world's absurdities. Everything we experience is in a chaotic state of unclear explanations. Cosmos honestly shows how we seek meaning in such chaos, create our own order, and how fragile and occasionally ridiculous we are in this process. True knowledge and culture are not merely about knowing many things. They come from the ability to understand the world, ask questions, respect others' perspectives, and humbly accept life's complexities. Cosmos is an excellent tool for cultivating that ability. This book does not provide answers. Instead, it invites you on a journey of self-questioning and self-discovery. Through this novel, you will see the familiar world anew, uncover hidden meanings, and ultimately gain a deeper understanding of yourself. You may occasionally face frustration from questions without answers, but this process will broaden your thinking and enrich your life. Gently, I invite you to open Cosmos and truly experience the joy of creating your own cosmos.